This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of Phatts TV, sanctioned by PA Phatts and the non-genetically proven Sun. Any and all words have been authorized during the show. There is nothing off limits. Nobody is restricted from watching and participating in the show. It is a free-for-all. Commencing at the siren, any and all discussions will be legal for an extended period of time. Sports, politics, and any and all controversial topics will be talked about. You have been warned. May God be with us all.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Phatts TV on this Thursday night, December the 2nd, 2021. I am the Fat Man. Joining me, as always, in the upper left-hand portion of the screen. He could talk once he unmutes his microphone. The one, the only, non-genetically proven Son, appearing from his underground bunker deep in the heart of central Pennsylvania, where fire alarms ring 10 minutes before showtime.
Yes, our fire alarms went off, and then they turned off, and we walked back in. No fire truck ever showed up.
Well, again, fire department's right across the street.
One drove around the block. You saw its lights on, and then it turned them off, and then just drove back to the... So, I'm not really sure what was going on. I guess it was an accident or a test.
Somebody probably burned some food. It is dinner time.
They burnt their nuggets.
In the green room of your deep down underground bunker.
Yeah.
So, we're at championship week for college football. A lot of interesting games. Some obviously will affect playoffs. Some won't. Some will affect where some teams go to bowls. Others won't. So, non-genetically proven Son.
Yeah.
And everybody else who's listening, feel free to answer this on the message board this evening. What game are you most interested in, to watch this weekend?
Well, obviously the self-explanatory. The Georgia-Alabama game.
Oh, here I thought you were going to say Holy Cross Villanova.
I mean, that could be more exciting.
Yeah.
The FCS could be more exciting. There's a lot of big favorites this week. It's not like picks.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't think any games could be super interesting to watch if everything just follows the line. Obviously, that doesn't work like that.
I think there could be some interesting games.
Pitt Wake Forest has the potential to be just a good game. Doesn't matter who wins.
Right.
Whoever wins is probably going to make a Big Six bowl.
Well, yeah, because they're tied in, so they have to.
So, other than that, Baylor Oklahoma State's probably going to be a pretty good game. And a lot of people seem to think that Houston-Cincinnati is going to be a really good game.
I'm going to make a prediction.
Okay.
The best game is the very first one.
Oregon and Utah?
Nope. That's the second one.
What's the very first
Western
one?
Kentucky, University of Texas, San Antonio.
So an FCS game.
I think it's going to be the best one.
Yeah? Why is that?
You might see this in my PPP later on. So we'll hold off on why I think it's going to be a very entertaining game.
I love where I just don't see that game anywhere. I even went to FCS, and it still isn't there. The first game is Villanova Holy Cross on here.
That's because it's not an FCS game.
Oh, there it is. I got it. I found it. It's an FBS game. It's the
Yes.
Ryan Conference USA Championship.
Yes.
Wow, 11-1 UTSA, coming off, I believe, their first loss.
Yes.
Facing 8-4 Western Kentucky.
Yeah, but look who Western Kentucky lost to.
Western Kentucky has lost to Army, Indiana. That's pathetic. Indiana sucks. Michigan State, UTSA, and they've won out since.
Yes.
Killing everybody.
I believe UTSA is at home, and they are a 3.5-point underdog. I know they're a 3.5-point underdog. But
They are.
I'm pretty sure they are at home. I don't think that's a neutral site game.
It's the Alamo Dome, so...
So it is neutral site because they don't play their home games at the Alamo Dome.
Do they not?
I don't think so. Maybe they do. I don't know.
Quick Google search, where does UTSA play? Alamo Dome.
Okay, so it is a home game. That's where they have the Alamo Bowl. A bowl that Penn State probably won't be going to.
No, it's too good for us. Too rich for our blood.
So, what do you think?
I know what game I'm looking at. It's going to be a good game.
Go ahead, tell me.
USC Cal.
That's a
Big
makeup game.
Big implications on that game.
Yes.
The matchup between 4 and 7s.
Yes. Lincoln Riley will not be on the sidelines coaching that game.
No, he will not.
So, yes, the coaching carousel has started.
That it did.
Lincoln Riley, in a surprise move to many, leaves Oklahoma for USC. And Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame for LSU. Both were a surprise to me. And not so much that Brian Kelly left, but that Brian Kelly went to LSU. That's a surprise to me. Well, yeah. I mean, he's getting paid basically the same contract as the Michigan State coach just signed. But I don't know. I don't know if that's a good fit.
I think he wanted to play in the SEC, and LSU should be a top 15 team every year, but they never were.
Right.
Under Ed. They had that one good year.
Under Ed.
They only had that one good year because they just had, like, the best team ever.
Yeah, but they got a guy that, like, sounded like he smoked, like, 7 packs a day. Yeah.
Go Tigers.
Yeah. Actually, that sounded pretty good out of you.
Tigers. Go Tigers.
So, I mean, it's a shame that the way things happen, like, the NCAA is such a screwed up fucking organization. Let's just say it right now.
Oh, no, really?
It would be nice to allow coaches, to stay through the season. But because they have early signing periods that start in like 10 days, you have coaches jump before the end of the season. It's like, it's so stupid. It literally is stupid. I mean, coaches preach loyalty, 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 loyalty.
Especially when Notre Dame still has an outside shot at the playoffs.
Right.
And they'll have a different coach on the sideline.
Yes. If Oklahoma won last week, that would have put him a rematch with Oklahoma State this week, and they won again this week, there's a good chance they would have been in the playoffs too. Lincoln, and again, coaches preach loyalty, loyalty, loyalty to the program, and then they just leave.
That they do.
It's just the way the NCAA is set up. You fucking suck. Let me guess, you're run by a bunch of fucking progressives. You suck. If you haven't figured it out yet, I think you suck.
They suck.
You suck worse than a cheap fucking hooker from Schuylkill County. Or maybe maybe better than a cheap Schuylkill County hooker. You suck worse than a fucking 18-year-old virgin. How's that? I get nothing from the peanut gallery. Didn't even get it. Didn't even get a chuckle. So you're looking forward to the Alabama-Georgia game. I'm not. I don't think that game's going to be that competitive. I really don't. Which means it's going to come down right to the last play.
Michigan, Iowa. Michigan's an 11-point favorite now. Okay.
Which is usual. Which is usual what that game is, because usually Ohio State's a double-digit favorite in that game.
Or Wisconsin when they played Notre Dame and then lost.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the Big Ten championship game.
Yeah, we were in the Big Ten championship game once.
Yeah, when did we play Notre Dame?
I said Wisconsin.
Yeah, you said Wisconsin played Notre Dame. When did Notre Dame
played us? Penn State.
Yeah, but you said Notre Dame.
Did I?
Yes.
Well, Penn State. Pittsburgh, Wake. Who cares? The fact that Pittsburgh, if Penn State was in the ACC, they could probably be 10-2 as well. Let's be honest. The ACC is awful.
Blue Horseshoe likes the over in that game, by the way.
Utah State, San Diego State, big game there.
That game's going to be close.
App State and Louisiana, big game there.
Don't know much about that game.
Kent State versus Northern Illinois, really big game there. But when the combined record of the teams is 15-9. Woo, big game.
Woo!
Baylor, Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, did they? Is there a loss to Baylor?
No.
They beat Baylor by 10.
They beat Baylor by 10, yeah.
Oregon, Utah. We all know how hard it is to beat teams 2 times in a season, especially when you've won like 38-7 or whatever they did.
Yeah, it's not going to be 38-7 again.
It is not going to be 38-7 this time.
It's not.
No, it is not.
No.
And then, that's all the games. And then Western Kentucky and UTSA, but we could reserve to talk about that one.
Yes. So, assuming all the favorites win.
Yep.
Who's your final 4 in order?
Georgia, Michigan, Oklahoma State, Cincinnati.
I agree. I think Oklahoma State jumps Cincinnati. I don't think they want Georgia playing Oklahoma State in the semifinal.
No, and I also think Michigan-Oklahoma State will be a really good game.
It will be a really good game.
I don't think whoever Cincinnati plays is going to be much of a game.
Right.
I think Michigan-Cincinnati would be a better game than Cincinnati.
It would be.
Michigan-Cincinnati would probably be a decent game, but they definitely want Oklahoma State or Michigan in the title game, for sure.
Yes. Now, is there any way that it flip-flops? Like, if Cincinnati crushes Houston by 35 and Oklahoma State beats Baylor by 3, which I think could easily happen, by the way, meaning Oklahoma State beats Baylor by 3. I don't think Cincinnati's going to crush Houston by 35. It wouldn't shock me if Houston covers that game.
Would they flip, then?
Yes. Is there any way Cincinnati could be 3 and Oklahoma State could be 4?
No.
Okay.
I don't see it. I don't think the committee is too keen on Cincinnati.
No.
I don't think anybody really is except Cincinnati fans. But you just have. It's almost like as long as they win, you just it's like fine, we'll put you in. And then when you get crushed, this is why we didn't want to.
Is there any way Cincinnati wins and doesn't get in?
No.
I think there's one scenario. And only one.
Cincinnati wins and doesn't get in.
Yes.
The problem is
There's one scenario. One.
Alabama drops to 4 and Oklahoma State
No.
goes to 3.
No.
Alabama wins.
Alabama has to win. Yes.
And Oklahoma State has to
blow out Baylor.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati has to win an extremely close game.
So if we're saying Oklahoma State and Cincinnati win, and we're putting Oklahoma State at 3, I feel like all they have to do is win. And if Alabama wins, Cincinnati might get kicked out.
That's a good possibility.
Because then Alabama would be 1, Michigan would be 2, or whatever. It doesn't matter. Georgia would be 2 or 3, and then Oklahoma State would probably be 4.
That's a good possibility. I've read a lot of people like, why should Georgia even try this week? If we both agree if Georgia loses, even if they lose by 30, they're still in. We both agree with that.
They could lose 45-0 and they should still be in.
Yes. So people are saying, why should Georgia try? Why should Georgia try? Do you really want Alabama to face Alabama a second time?
No, you want to get rid of Alabama.
You want to get rid of Alabama. To me, there's no way. If Alabama loses, there's absolutely no way they're in. I don't care. If they lose, if Michigan loses, if Cincinnati loses, if Oklahoma State loses, like if all of them lose, you would have Georgia as 1. Notre Dame would move up. Oh, God, as much as I hate to say it, Ohio State can make it back in. Then maybe Alabama does get in with 2 losses.
If all of that happens, if everybody loses except Georgia, everybody loses. Michigan is 3. You got to keep them above Ohio State. They beat them.
I agree with that.
Notre Dame is probably 2. You could move. God, that's a really tough one. Oklahoma State would have 2 losses. Alabama has 2 losses. Michigan has 2 losses. Do you move up Baylor?
Does Baylor have 1 loss or 2?
2. Or do you... Because Cincinnati's got to be out. Oklahoma State's out. Alabama's out. So Baylor being 9, the next one is you got Notre Dame, there's 6. Ohio State, there's 7, but we already kind of said they shouldn't be in.
Unless you're going to put Michigan in as well.
And then you got Ole Miss, but they're not playing.
Ole Miss, no. And
then Baylor. And then Oregon. So do you put Oregon in?
No.
If they win?
No.
Well, so who do you put in? Do you...
That's it. I mean, first off, I don't think all the favorites, with the exception of Georgia, is going to lose. I don't see that happening.
Josh says he's sorry, but he hopes Michigan wins. Yeah, I hope Michigan wins too.
Well, you know what? I hope Michigan does win.
I hate Iowa just as much as I hate Ohio State anymore.
To me, it would be so cool to see Georgia, Michigan, Cincinnati, and Oklahoma State.
It's different.
It's so much better than Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State, and Oklahoma that we see just about every year.
It's different. Other than Georgia's made it once.
Yeah, big deal.
Or twice.
Once. Yeah, a couple big deal. Couple
never
times.
Made it. Cincinnati's never made it. Oklahoma State should have made it, but they haven't.
Yeah, I'm cool with Michigan getting in.
As long as they lose to.
But let's think about that. If all the favorites lost, with the exception of Georgia, so you would have Georgia in. Obviously, you would have Notre Dame in.
They're number 2. So who's number 3? I say Michigan.
You have to have Michigan in over Ohio State.
Yes, and Ohio State's 7, which they're right by Notre Dame. So
if Baylor wins by a lot, then I could see them jumping in. I mean, you would have to put a 2-loss team in there then, or a 1-loss Cincinnati team.
Well, Michigan would be a 2-loss team.
Well, yeah. So what I'm saying is another one.
I would have Baylor jump in. They won. They won the Pac-12. Ohio State wasn't even in the title game. They got
Big
murdered
12.
by Michigan. Yeah, sorry,
Big
they
12.
won the Big 12. They got murdered by Michigan.
All right, we've seen precedents where Ohio State doesn't make the Big Ten championship game and makes the playoffs.
They did win the national championship that year.
The year that Penn State should have made the playoffs.
And then got railed by Alabama. But yeah, they should have been in the playoffs. They should have been the first and only two-loss team to be in the playoffs. Way to lose to Pitt that year, guys.
Yeah, fucking Pitt game. A fucking Pitt game. That I listened to. I listened to the second half of that game in the car behind your school because you had to sit on the bench for a JV soccer match. They wouldn't let you guys leave. They fucking lost the Pitt.
Yep.
By 3.
And then 1 out.
Pretty much. Yeah. I mean,
they won out.
They got destroyed by Michigan that year. That was their other loss?
2. They lost like 38-10. They got murdered. Michigan was good that year.
So, if one of the favorites is to lose, who loses?
Cincinnati. Cincinnati or Oklahoma State. Those are the two I think that could actually lose. But if Oklahoma State loses, it's not going to change anything Notre Dame's end. If Oklahoma State wins, they're in. I think they're in either way.
So you think if Alabama wins, then obviously Alabama's in, Georgia's in. If Michigan wins, Michigan is in. And if you think Oklahoma State, if they win, even if Cincinnati wins, they'll vault Cincinnati.
Yes.
I think so too, as long as it's a convincing win. I think if they don't play a good game and win a sloppy 1-point game on a field goal at the buzzer, then no.
No.
Style points matter.
I'm assuming Cincinnati doesn't also do the same thing.
Right.
Because if Cincinnati and Oklahoma State win a meh game, I still like Oklahoma State.
So what team is the most that's on upset alert?
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati. Okay.
Probably, even though they've been doing it all year, I've been saying you got to win by a lot. You got to win. But a lot of people seem to like Houston. I've seen that all week. Lots of Houston. That this is a closer game than it's reading.
Does somebody in the top 4 lose?
Well, Alabama.
Oh, I tried to fool you. I tried to fool you.
I have the rankings right here. I did have to look at it.
All right. Does 2 teams in the top 5 lose? So we know there's got to be one.
No.
So you think all the favorites, all the other favorites win?
Yeah, I could see of the 3 that are not Georgia, I could see a scrappy in there. Something a little scrappy. I could see Michigan, should win easily. Play like a crap defensive game for whatever reason. Coming off of a big Ohio State win where they played damn near perfect. I could see them thrown in a shitbox game.
I hope not.
Michigan.
I already bet the over in that game, so I hope not.
I mean, as long as the offense plays fine for you, then it's all right. It's just the defense.
I would agree with you that it's tough. Like which team between Cincinnati and Oklahoma State has the best chance to lose? I'm gonna say Oklahoma State has the best chance to lose. They did only beat Baylor by 10 at home. So, again, it's hard to beat a team twice during the season. I don't believe Cincinnati played Houston this year.
I will fact check that.
Please do.
They did not. They only played Notre Dame is their only ranked team and good team they've played.
And Michigan didn't play Iowa this year.
Michigan did not play Iowa. Okay. They should be playing Wisconsin, and they beat Wisconsin by 21. But somehow Wisconsin lost to freaking Minnesota.
Minnesota decided to row the boat. Row the boat.
The Bowling Green and then beats Wisconsin when they're playing good.
Good job. That just tells you Bowling Green's better than Wisconsin. If Bowling Green is in the Big Ten West, they're facing Michigan.
Apparently.
That's what that means.
Should go see who beat Bowling Green this year.
Well, not UMass.
Maybe UConn did.
I did see a poll of they had like 1 through 130 ranked, and UConn was 130 and UMass was 129.
Yeah, we kind of knew that already, didn't we?
And I believe New Mexico State was 128.
Poor New Mexico State.
Yeah.
What about Citadel? They were down there probably.
They're not in Division 1 or whatever that's called. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, what bowl game's Penn State going to?
The Pinstripe Bowl.
You think it's going to be the Pinstripe Bowl?
Unfortunately, because of the 3 destinations, there's 4 technically. The fourth one's really unlikely. But you got the Pinstripe Bowl in the Bronx. Yippee. You got the Music City Bowl in Nashville. That's better. Got the Las Vegas Bowl in outside of Vegas. It's not actually in Vegas, but it's around Vegas. And then, which one was it? It was a Florida one, the one in Jacksonville. Is it the Gator Bowl?
Yes.
The Gator Bowl was the other viable option. Let's throw the Gator Bowl out. That's not going to happen. I think the Music City was out, and it was between the Vegas and Pinstripe. And I feel like it's dumb to send Penn State all the way out west.
Well, why?
Why? Like, why send them all the way out there? And we do travel well.
Right, that's why.
We do travel well.
That's why.
If we go out to Vegas, we have a very good chance to face like UCLA.
I saw like Arizona State.
Arizona State was another one, and there was one other potential team we could face. Let me pull up the pack. Give me a second. It's slipping my. It was
Would be Washington State, Oregon State. I think it was
Oregon State.
That'd be an interesting game.
I want to say it's either Washington or Oregon State. It's one or the other. And then Pinstripe, we could face. It's ACC.
I keep seeing Virginia.
Virginia is viable, and could face Miami as well.
That'd be a throwback to the 80s. You'll hear a lot of 86 references then, because Penn State beat Miami to win the national championship.
Hey, we played Miami last night in basketball.
Yeah, it didn't turn out too well.
We kept doing this. So there was Miami fans like right behind their bench. Obviously, there's always traveling fans. And, we were like heckling them a bit. Because we would go like this. And this is like how they do their U. And we'd hold this up until they did it. And then we'd go like this. We'd go. Because we had a big sign that was an upside down U. And it was pretty funny. Like every time we missed a free throw, they would go like, ah!
I just made a sign that said cons. Cons.
I was, there's 2 things from that game. Penn State cannot make an open 3. I have no idea how we can't hit an open 3. And Miami is a bad team this year because Penn State was definitely the better team.
Well, Miami went on a run. with about 8 minutes left in that second half to take control of that game.
They went on a run twice in the first start of each quarter where they just wanted to make 5 straight threes.
Yeah.
And it was their center that did it. Their center!
Yeah.
Their 6'9" center kept making threes. All right.
Now, I didn't see the first half of that game because the game that was on ESPN2 before it went to 4 overtimes. That was the Nebraska-NC State game.
Yeah.
So they did eventually put it on ESPN News.
Yeah.
But by the time I flipped over to ESPN News, it was halftime. So I caught the second half. And then, like, the NC State game ended with about 12 minutes to go in Penn State's second half. So, yeah, so I watched the second half of that game. Both teams made a run in the second half.
Yeah.
Penn State did get up by 5 in the second half, 45-40.
We started well, and then we didn't want to score for a while.
Yeah. Yeah.
Typical Penn State basketball disappointment.
Yeah. I'm not sold on their coach much.
I'm not yet.
Let's give him a couple of years to see who he could recruit.
Well, he does have the best recruiting class in Penn State basketball history.
That's not saying much.
Hey! Back in the 50s, we made a Final Four.
You get a couple 2-stars, a 6-pack of Old Milwaukee and a carton of Luckies, and you got a pretty good recruiting class at Penn State.
Hey, I saw an article this week. Not an article, but it was hot takes, basically. Like an article on hot takes. It said Penn State hot takes. And some guy said I would trade in 3 wrestling national championships to have a decent basketball team. And I'm like, it would be nice to have a basketball team that could at least finish mid to top third of the Big Ten. Would be nice.
You had it, and then COVID hit.
That's true. We did have a pretty good team that year.
Until the last week of the season.
A hot team.
Until the last week of the season.
Till, yeah, we dumped three games or whatever like that. That's right, Gavin. Miami does suck, but we suck more. Because we lost to them. And I was talking to Steve Jones after the game, commentator for Penn State football and basketball. He even said they are not going to do good in the ACC. They are not that good. They're going to struggle.
Look at you, buddy with Steve Jones.
A little bit. I can go talk to him. Is that anything? Does that count?
Well, can you get him to come on our show?
Maybe. So we got a big game coming for Penn State basketball. We play Ohio State on Sunday. They just beat number 1 Duke.
There's an L.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It's a big fat one, too.
Yeah.
It's a fat L. Yeah, we're going to lose. I get it.
Yeah. When does wrestling start?
We face Penn Friday, and we face Lehigh on Sunday.
See, I wouldn't trade 3 wrestling national. I think college wrestling is pretty cool to watch.
I don't think it's cool that we face Iowa at Iowa every year. And the one time they're home in 4 years, no one's allowed to be there.
Yeah.
I'll probably go to, 2 meets. I'll go to the one in the BJC when we face Ohio State, and I'll probably go to the Michigan one. I believe that's at home.
You got to pay to get in, right? Or can
the
you buy
BJC one, I think so. The ones in Rec Hall, no, I don't. Students are free.
Oh, that's cool. I'd be going to all of them then, that I can.
We sit on the floor, so
yeah.
We'll see. Maybe I'll try to get credentials to watch men grab each other.
Yeah. Did I see, not off topic for a second, that the women's volleyball was coming from Rec Hall? Their last one, the one that they won. Who did they lose to over the weekend? Was it Minnesota? Was that from Rec Hall or was that from Bryce Jordan Center?
They play in Rec Hall.
Rec Hall. That's pretty cool that the Big Ten actually televised something from Rec Hall.
The next day they had a game against Iowa, and I was at that one. I was supposed to be at the one against Minnesota, and I kind of forgot. Kind of forgot. I was supposed to take photos of that game. Kind of forgot about it.
Whoops.
It's all right. So back to Penn State football.
Gavin says he's a Miami fan. What a shame.
Yeah.
We kind of feel sorry for Gavin.
You could be a favorite of all my favorite teams where I just love disappointment. I love building up in disappointment. That's all my sports teams. All of them. Literally all of them.
Including your betting.
That too.
Yeah.
Your sports teams are just disappointment. You at least don't build up to something good. Your teams are just bad.
Pretty much. Except for Atlanta.
It must be hard being a Jets fan.
It is tough being a Jets fan. It is hard.
Well,
But
being a Packers fan's no easier. Ooh, one NFC title. Good job.
we both like the Braves. They won.
We do like the Braves.
Yeah.
I have a hat over there. The hoodie was too small, so I had to send it back, and I got a new one.
Oh, winner, winner.
Woo!
Braves win. Braves win. Braves win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we signed nobody of all the free agents.
Big deal. So what were you going to say about Penn State football? Then we'll get to the Phatts Phantastic Five.
Back to Penn State football. So who do you think they're going to face and what bowl?
Pinstripe Bowl, and they're going to face Virginia.
Do they win?
You know what? It's so hard to tell. I'm going to say no. It's so, because what do you call it, is going to sit out that game.
Clifford?
No. The wide receiver.
Jahan?
Yeah. He's going to sit out. Because that's the growing trend. Seniors don't play in their bowl game unless they're in the playoffs so they don't get hurt. To ruin their draft status. Like the really good ones that are going to be, high first round picks, they don't play in their bowl games anymore.
I don't think it'll matter. I think if we face somebody from the ACC, we win. If we face Arizona State, I think we might lose that game. If we face UCLA, I think that will be a really good game. But I think if we face Virginia, UNC, or Virginia Tech, I don't think we'll have a problem with any of them.
By the way, I think it's the other way around. I think we would lose to UCLA and have a good game against Arizona State.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the other way.
Yeah. I mean, that's just my opinion, but I don't think they're traveling west. I mean, I don't know what order the Bulls get to pick when it comes to that. Because just because, like, all right, so both of those bowls have a tie-in, and let's just say the Las Vegas Bowl gets the first pick, then the Pinstripe Bowl. They don't have to take the best, like, whichever team is next up to be like in record, because like let's just say Iowa's next up. Let's just say.
Well, they don't really travel.
And if they don't travel well, then no, they're not going to pick them. They're going to pick teams that travel. And that is the one good thing about Penn State. If they do play in the Pinstripe Bowl, can you imagine how many Penn State fans are going to be in Yankee Stadium that day?
I probably will be.
There will be a lot of Penn State fans in that
freezing
stadium.
my you-know-what off on December 28th.
You don't know that.
The Bronx.
It was 60 degrees today.
Yeah.
It could easily be 60 degrees December 28th. You don't know that.
The odds of that are this much.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
Give me the 4-week weather.
Yeah, go to AccuWeather and pull up what the long range forecast is for the Bronx on that day.
Long range forecast.
Well, no, you have to go to AccuWeather.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Hope it says sunny and 70, just to shut you up. Instead, it's going to say 21 and snow.
Actually, it's not awful. 39 and cloudy.
There you go. A month in advance.
39 and cloudy.
A month in
What's
advance.
it say for Christmas? What's it say for Christmas? Maybe it'll be gorgeous on Christmas again. Well, it's going to be the Bronx, so maybe it'll be. We know how it's going to be in the Bronx. 41.
There you go.
And cloudy.
There you go.
That's not awful.
No. Definition of Cowboys and Yankees: build up just to crash.
Cowboys don't build anything up. They don't even win that division half the time. Cowboys building up and crash.
So
that's this year.
Let's get to what you've all been waiting for.
Is this really what we've been waiting? Is this really what we've been waiting for?
Yes, because people need to know who to bet against when they see your picks.
Yeah, that they do.
The Phatts Phantastic Phive. So let's go over the non-genetically proven Sons picks from last week.
Sure.
He was 26-34 going into the week.
Yeah, we did great.
Only 8 games below 500. And then he took Wisconsin -7 for some reason. Minnesota is going to row the boat against Wisconsin. They're going to row the boat. I'm making rowing motions. You can't see it, but I'm making a rowing motion. They lost outright. You had Texas A&M. They lost outright. I believe on the last play of the game, was it?
Oh, freaking no.
Hey, and then you won a game by 0.5 point.
I did win a game by 0.5 point.
You had Oklahoma. They only lost by 4. And then you had Rutgers. Rutgers just needed to win to make a bowl game.
They got murdered.
Against Maryland. Maryland! Come on.
At home.
Yes, and then you actually took a pro game. You took the Chargers -2.5. That was a mistake.
Didn't they lose outright?
They did. They did. Yes, you took 3 favorites, and all 3 favorites lost outright. In fact, all of the teams you played lost.
Good. That's always good.
Just one of them you were getting enough points to cover.
Yeah.
But all the teams you took lost. Attaboy.
So my last 2 weeks, I am 2-8.
So if you played a money line parlay against all these teams,
you did good. You would have probably got decent odds on that.
So the worst part is, when you sent me your picks, I went interesting, and it's interesting because I kind of agree with 3 of them. So,
yeah, and then you're going to hear my theory on these.
Yes.
Everybody.
So, looking at your picks, you're 27-38. Attaboy.
Yeah, it's great.
You know, at this time last year, or this time like a week ago, you were 11 games over 500. Now you're 11 games under 500 this year. Woo!
We're doing great. We're doing great.
All right, you took Georgia -6.5. Georgia.
I do like Georgia.
Now, it's great because when we talked about this Sunday night, when I said, "Is there opening lines up yet?" You said, "Yeah, 6.5," and you said you love Georgia. And then last night, you're saying, "I kind of like Alabama," and I'm thinking to myself, "What the fuck are you smoking, boy?"
Well, against Auburn, that was a look-ahead game.
That they should have lost.
That they should have lost.
And that stupid idiot just goes down in bounds. Or they go for 2 when they score a touchdown in overtime.
True.
Auburn gift-wrapped Alabama that game. That was god-awful. It was almost like Alabama said, "We'll give you $10 million if you let us win."
And now Georgia's going to stick a foot up their ass and win by 15.
Let me ask you a question. Did you think about taking over 27.5 points for Georgia?
I didn't even look at it.
Oh, because that's what the team total is.
Damn it. Should have looked at it.
Okay.
Should have looked at it.
Then you took Iowa. I think this is a little bit interesting of a pick for you because I know what your feeling about Iowa is.
I like Michigan. Michigan. So
a little opposite.
One of my games, I'll tell you right now, the next 4 games, I like the other team.
And that explains why I like 2 of your teams here.
I like the other teams, so I picked 5 games that I liked. I wasn't gonna change Georgia, but I did say last week on the show I'm gonna pick 5 games and I'm gonna change them all.
Yeah, you did.
The opposite, because one of them's gotta hit. I can't do any worse than 1-4 realistically. Yeah, I could, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna hit one of them.
Oh, it'll be so great when you go 1-4 this week and only win the Georgia game. That would be so you right now. That would literally be so you.
Can I quit at that point? Can I just accept 0-5 and just not make picks anymore?
That would be so.
That would be me. That would absolutely be me if it does that.
All right, so you took Iowa plus 10.5, even though you like Michigan minus 10.5.
I do like The only thing is, I don't love the half point. If I was going to take Michigan,
Gaia,
but I still feel like in a Big Ten title game. Michigan coming off a big win, big emotional win. Iowa shouldn't even be there.
Yeah.
It's got potential to be closer. I still like Michigan, but go Iowa.
All right. Then you like Dub Bears getting 7.5. Who do you even know who Dub Bears are playing? Without looking.
The Cardinals.
The Cardinals. Okay, very good. Very good.
I like the Cardinals.
Okay.
The Bears are god awful, aren't they?
Yeah.
But they're gonna figure a way how to cover this game.
But the redhead might be playing.
Oh really?
Yeah, which probably gives him a better chance to cover.
About to say he's probably better than Justin Fields.
The rumor mill is out that Ryan Day might be asked to coach Chicago.
Go for it. That's fine.
So if you were advising Ryan Day, you would tell him, take it.
Yeah, especially because I'm a Penn State fan.
If they were offering you $5 a year, a 6-pack of Bud, and 2 cases of Lucky's, go for it.
Oh, shit. You don't even need the $5.
Go for it.
6-pack of Lucky's, that's all you need.
Go for it. All right, then you like Cincinnati minus 3. By the way, I almost took Cincinnati in my picks.
This is actually a game I was almost not abstinent. What?
Abstinent? What are you, virgin?
Abstinent.
Are these your virgin picks?
Apparently. The way I'm betting, it might as well be. I don't love the Chargers in this game, but I don't love the Bengals either. But I also struggled to find 5 games that I liked for some reason.
Oh, I got you.
The other game I did like was the Houston College against Cincinnati.
Why didn't you play it?
My record with betting on or against Cincinnati, I think I'm 1-7.
At least, yeah.
So I wasn't touching that game.
Which reminds me, you didn't play Rutgers this week either.
I didn't.
Wait,
it's kind of hard to play Rutgers when they don't play.
It's a good thing Cincinnati doesn't play Rutgers. You wouldn't know what the hell to do. So, the reason why I didn't wind up taking this game is I gave you this stat before we went live. Cincinnati covered the spread. They crushed Pittsburgh last week by more than 20. And San Diego missed covering the spread by like 20 points against Denver last week. Teams, when that happens, you want to take the team that didn't cover. Other than that, I would have taken Cincinnati. It's supposed to be rainy in Cincinnati on Sunday from what I saw and heard. And Cincinnati's playing like a really good ball right now. Let's face it. They
Cincinnati actually is a Super Bowl contender this year.
Yeah. And they're only going to get better as
they have a rookie quarterback.
No,
and a wide receiver.
Joe Burrow's in his second year.
Huh?
Joe Burrow is in his second year. That's correct. Remember he came from Go Tigers.
Yeah, Mac Jones is a rookie.
Yes. And then
speaking about Mac Jones, I'd be worried if I was the Bills. I would be worried.
Okay. Yeah, you
might not get that division back for a while.
Yeah, you might see something on the next screen with that too.
I don't know. The Patriots might be the best team in the league right now.
Could be.
And that I hate saying that.
Could be.
Just what I want to see. The thing is though, Mac Jones is literally like Tom Brady, a pocket passer.
Yeah.
Who can't run.
Yeah, another white guy that's got a 7.840 time.
Hey, if he wins 7 Super Bowls too, I don't
Yeah.
think he'll care.
Yeah. And your last game, which I actually really like and almost put this in as well, is Atlanta getting double digits against Tampa Bay.
Okay, this was actually a game like I kind of like Tampa Bay, but also in the pros when you're getting more than 10,
Yeah.
it's actually a good thing to take it.
Yeah.
No, because it's the pros, and pros usually don't get blown out.
Yeah.
Or lose by more than 10.
Yep.
What did the Bucks do last week? Did they play?
They beat Indy and they had to come back from behind. They were down trailing most of the game.
Yeah. This is another game where I'm like, I like the Bucks, but at the same time, like Atlanta's actually not a bad pick. So Atlanta.
Stats wise, Tampa Bay's defense is only half as good on the road than they are at home. They're giving up, it's like 0.22 points per play at home and 0.44 points per play on the road.
Wow.
They've only covered one game on the road, and that was actually last week, I believe.
Here comes another one they're going to cover.
Well, like I said, I did have this game, and then I changed it to something else. So, you like Georgia -6.5, Iowa plus 10.5. Then you go into the pros with the Bears plus 7.5, Cincinnati -3, and Atlanta plus 11.5.
So small story.
Yes.
These are the plays like. Now this is about 3 years ago. You did this. You told me to pick random numbers for one of your picks.
Yes.
You were doing the Binkley pool. You number.
Yes.
The winner and 1 through 20 in confidence points.
Yes.
1 being the least, 20 being the most. And you literally told me to pick random games, 1 through 20, random number 1 through 20. Except one game. There was one game you said, I'm not putting that as a 20. Because I actually picked 20, so I'm putting that as my 1. And you did well.
Maybe I should let you do it again.
So, why are you doing bad?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. This year, I feel like this year's really hard just to even pick winners. This year is something else.
I just don't have the time to do it. I'm just not to make myself sound so sorrowful, because I'm not. It's just I'm just super, super busy at work. And I just don't have time. Like, by the time I'm done working at night, sometimes it's 6, sometimes it's later.
Oh boy.
I just want to veg out on the couch. Like, Tuesday night, I fell asleep on the couch at like 8:30. I was out. So, yeah. So, all right. So let's look at my plays from last week. I was 30-30 going into last week. 500.
At least that's respectable.
Better than I was doing last year.
That it is.
But a lot worse than I was earlier this year.
Also true.
I was at like 67%, at maybe even a little higher at some point. I had Georgia -35. That was a winner. Cha-ching.
I actually bet that game in
Yes,
real
you did.
life.
Yes, you did. I had Rutgers as well. Fucking
Yeah, that
Rutgers.
didn't go well.
I had Notre Dame. That was my favorite play of the week.
Easy.
They covered. And then I took the wrong Minnesota team. I took the pro team, not the college team. And they lost. A lot of turnovers and some injuries that game.
Did they lose by more than 3?
They did.
It's unfortunate. 2-2.
And then I had Jacksonville team total under 23, which I almost took again this week, but it was 16.5 at Barstool. If it was 17.5, I would have taken it. But they covered. They only scored 14 last week. So I went 3-2 for a week. Winning week puts me at 33-32. Now, I actually like a lot of games this week. I had a hard time coming up with 5. Other than my first pick, which I knew I liked. Yeah. Like, I had about 10 or 12 to choose from. And the last time I had that many to choose from, if I remember correctly, I think it was 12, and I think they went 4-8, if I remember correctly.
I believe you're correct.
Yeah. So here are my picks for the week. And again, as always, this is the first chance that the non-genetically proven son sees them as well, because he doesn't see them ahead of time. So I took Georgia as well, as we all know. I mean, Georgia. I can't. It's one of these games that I don't understand the line, which means Alabama's going to cover. Because whenever I don't understand a line, I lose. But I bet this game on Monday, and it's one of the largest bets I've bet in a long time. So that's another way that I know it's going to lose. By the way, on Monday, I also bet the over in the Michigan-Iowa game. You don't see that in my picks.
Yeah, we don't.
Because I like some stuff more. Western Kentucky, Texas, San Antonio. I said you would see that again. I like the over 74. They played each other earlier in the year. They scored 98. 52-46 was your final. I'm not going to say they're going to score 98 again, but I think they score at least 78, which means you take the over 74. That was a coin flip between, do I want to take the over in that game or do I want to take the over in the Pitt Wake Forest game, which was at 72? Because I think that game goes over as well. But I think this game has the better chance to go over. I will be watching it tomorrow night because I got nothing better to do on a Friday night. The hooker can't make it tomorrow night for some reason. So
Interesting.
very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Tampa, Atlanta, over 50.5. Basically, their last 6, 7, 8 times they played, they've scored more than 50.5 points.
Okay.
Yeah. When these two teams meet, they score points. If memory serves me correctly, Tampa scored in the 40s their first game this year. Whether it was 43, 45, 48, 49, somewhere around there, but they scored in the 40s.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for more of the same with points. This next game, I think, is very easy. Eagles. First time this year, I think I played on the Eagles.
At least as a favorite.
Yeah. They're playing the Jets.
They're in New York.
And this is your classic buy low, sell high. I'm getting the Eagles off of a loss against the Jets off of a win. And I'm giving less than a touchdown.
Hey, the Jets have 3 wins. That is more than they should have.
Hey, no, I said they were going to have 6. Going back to the beginning of the year.
You said the Eagles think we're going to have 4?
4. Yeah.
They're at 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, wait. The Texans still have 2.
Yes. And Jacksonville has 2. So that's the Jets screwing up the number 1 pick again.
The only good draft picks this year are linemen.
Hello, that's when you trade and get a bunch of picks. Because when you're the Jets, you need a bunch of players.
Because no quarterbacks this year. A couple good wide receivers. That's about it.
I said last year the Jets should trade the number 2 pick for a bunch of picks. And they could have traded down. They didn't need Zach Wilson. They could have got Mac Jones. If they got Mac Jones, he'd probably look horrible. Mac Jones is just in the right situation in New England, which, by the way, is my last pick. Going on Monday Night Football, I will take the better team in a game that's potentially not such great weather. Yes, they're on the road, but I will take that field goal.
Ooh, they're on the road across the state.
New England is not in New York, dumbass.
Okay, but you know what I mean.
They are in Massachusetts.
Okay, it's a pretty short ride.
Okay, they're still on the road.
Boston to New England. Boston, New England. Yep. Boston to
Take
Buffalo.
2.
Boston to Buffalo isn't all that far. Can they even play a game that's closer?
But yes. Hello, the Jets-Giants stadium is a hell of a lot closer than Buffalo is. Buffalo is all the way on the other side of the state. It's not like it's like near the Adirondacks. It's all the way on the other side of the state. It's not like New York is as wide as New Jersey, dumbass.
Hey, it only takes like an hour to fly there. Relax.
Well, yeah, fly there, yeah.
They're probably going to fly there. It's an NFL team.
But yeah, from Boston to New York City is a lot less travel time.
Okay.
A lot less, yeah.
So New England's going to win. That's what you're saying.
Yes, New England's going to win this game outright.
Didn't we say the Bills were like the best team in the league?
Yeah, you said that. I said the Chargers were making the Super Bowl.
Yeah, they look great too,
Yeah.
don't they?
Hence, I said I like
6-5, and they might be 6-6 after this
Yes.
week. They may not even make the playoffs there.
So, recapping the picks, you like Georgia minus 6.5, Iowa plus 10.5, Chicago plus 7.5, Cincinnati minus 3, Atlanta plus 11. Most of these are your opposite picks.
4 of them.
I like Georgia minus 6.5, Western Kentucky, University of Texas, San Antonio over 74, Tampa, Atlanta over 50.5, the Eagles minus 6.5, and New England plus 3. And those are this week's Phatts Phantastic 5. All right, those are our picks. And with that, it's 8:01, so it's time to say goodbye so we could go watch some Thursday night football. Who do you like tonight? You like Dallas or you like New Orleans? Dallas supposedly has a bunch of players with COVID. Mike McCarthy's not coaching tonight.
I honestly, till you said that, didn't even know what the Thursday night game was.
Okay.
But with you saying that,
The line's gone up today, 2 points.
I like the tie.
You like the tie? Okay.
There should be no ties in football.
Sure there should be.
No!
Sure. Why not?
Adopt after 10 minutes. Do the frickin' college rule.
No.
2-point conversions. Let's go.
No.
There should be no ties in
No.
football.
No. No.
That's
If you're not going to have ties after 10 minutes, each team should pick one player and it's a fight to the death.
I mean, that's fine too. But there's no ties. Do I want Dallas? Fine. Saints. Go Saints. Someone wants to tell me to go Dallas. No, go Saints.
I took Dallas in the pool at 4.5. I also took him in the Binkley pool as a 4, so not a lot of confidence. Only because I like I said, I like a lot of stuff this week. So, New Orleans is changing quarterbacks to Tyson Hill. So, I mean, not that matters. This has become a throwaway year for New Orleans, kind of like what New England was last year. They should basically, if they were smart, they would throw the rest of their games, get a high draft pick, and find a quarterback.
There is no quarterback other than what's his face from Pitt, and there's a quarterback out of Nevada that's good. That's about it.
I don't know if that Western Kentucky quarterback is a senior or not, but he's got 51 touchdown passes this year. That's not bad.
It's pretty good.
That's not bad.
I haven't seen him. I've only really seen Pickett is his name.
Yes,
Out
for
of
Pitt.
Pittsburgh. He's gonna be the top quarterback.
Probably. It is not a very strong quarterback draft this year. It's not a very strong draft, period.
Good lineman.
Yeah, you got some good linemen, especially on the defensive side. You got, a couple good Penn State players.
Jahan, I think, is the only one really coming out.
So, yeah, I mean, but, yeah, for your typical players that you get drafted up high, quarterback, running backs, wide receivers, and stuff, there isn't that. It's not a big year for that. So, but we'll see who winds up deciding to come out. You don't have to be a senior to come out. Sean Clifford.
You watch, he's gonna end up staying another year. You watch. I swear to God, if he doesn't get benched.
I got into an argument this week with somebody online, and I'm going to ask you this question. I said, you have the number one recruit coming in from the nation, the number one college recruit in the nation, coming in to quarterback your team. If he is not the starter on your first offensive snap for the year, right after that snap, you should fire the entire coaching staff.
I would agree.
And my battery is low.
I see that.
And my battery just shut off. Did I not plug it in?
I guess not.
Okay. Well, you can still hear me, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So we'll just
Yes. Unless
we'll just make you bigger right now.
unless Drew says I am okay with being redshirted for a year, I will not leave.
Right. But why would he be okay with that?
He's not. Because I'm sure he's aiming, you would hope, you would think,
Right.
hope, to probably spend about 3 years in and leave.
Right.
Unless, for some reason, he could win a Heisman his senior year or win a national championship, then he would stay.
Big deal.
But I think he wants to spend 3 years at Penn State and go to the pros.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to be your. You can't have the guy from Canada as your starter, like this guy was trying to argue with me with.
No, Drew Allar's the starter. Guy from Canada's the backup.
Or
won't surprise me when he leaves.
Or, and then some other guy said, no, until Dodson's ready, they should start Robeson.
Why not?
No, start the other one, the fourth stringer that got in.
Oh, the freshman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the only place he's ever gonna play.
Yeah, start Guido. Let's nickname him Guido.
Guido.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's gonna wrap it up for tonight. Did I not plug it in? I mean, it's.
I don't know.
I could have swore I plugged it in. Okay. All right. Have a safe, happy, and healthy week. We will see you next week live on Phatts TV. Wave goodbye since I can't. See ya. That was really, really nice. That shows a lot of like. There you go. See ya.